Hey guys, and welcome to Business on the Go, where I talk to global leaders in their industry and learn lessons learned and different things that you can learn. Today, I have a global leader, Tomeka Holyfield, who is the CEO of Helpppp Agency Group. Thank you, Tomeka, for coming and being my first guest on my show.
I'm so excited and congratulations on the huge success that I know this show is going to be.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I asked you to come on this show because when I met you, your energy is infectious. And not only your energy is infectious, but I really resonated with your story. And I wanted to, full circle moment, bring back and tell the world, who is Tomeka Holyfield? Because to me, not joking, not for the cameras, you are truly a phenomenal woman that has broke barriers for someone young like me to look up to and look forward to. So
Okay, let me pay you. How much? Let me pay you.
so I really want to know, I really want you to be able to share who is Tomeka Holyfield.
I think Tomeka Holyfield is just a person that God gave a second chance to. I'm a second chancer. So to all you second chances, have no fear. And I think that's what has been the key to my success, that I am a late bloomer and a second chancer. And when I say a second chance, he gave me a second chance to get it right. He gave me a second chance to do it over. He gave me a second chance amidst all my mess and mistakes to now make them my testimony. And so I think that's what sets me apart, that I understand that I'm a second chancer. Yeah. And so when you are a second chancer, you take nothing for granted. You are cognizant of ups and downs, highs and lows, good and bad, stop and go.
Right.
And when you're a second chancer, you've had so many things that have gone wrong for you that you keep going until the right thing comes. And so I think that second chances, we wear armor all, we're a little tough.
Right.
Because we've been through so much. We didn't have a wand, we didn't have a silver plate, we just merely had a second chance.
And I see you use your second chance wisely.
Yes.
You know, you did not default. When he gave you that chance, you said, I'm going to take it and run with it. And so what would you say ignited your entrepreneurial journey?
I thought that I was going to be the number one anchor for CNN. So when I was in college, first I was at Sam Houston State before I transferred to Texas Southern University. And at Sam Houston State, they had something called RTF, Radio, Television, Film. And so I thought I was going to be this big film anchor. And then I transferred to Texas Southern and got the communication program. And I thought I was going to move to Atlanta and be the number one anchor for CNN.
Are you serious?
Yes, it was my goal. It was what I told everybody. And then my freshman year in college, I met someone in my Spanish class. And, he was debonair. He was community driven. And he had a community center. And so in my Spanish class, we were going to get extra credit if we were going to go to his community center for the weekend. So I was just going to the community center to get extra credit.
Right.
And in college, I wore suits to class. I know this sounds crazy.
Wow.
So everybody's wearing,
So you knew you were going to be this anchor woman?
I wore pantsuits to freshman year.
Professional.
Yes, I wore pantsuits to college. People were in warm-ups and tennis shoes. I was in heels.
Wow.
With suits on. And it was just, I can't explain it. So I have this suit on and I'm going to the community center. It was called the Phoenix Outreach Youth Center. And that day changed my life forever. I was never the same. So I go on the weekend and I see all the kids and I see the community and I see what they're doing. And he's rolling his sleeves up and I walk in and of course he and I start dating, but that's not the point.
Yeah. That's not the point.
It was, my life began to change of what I really wanted. And I knew that I wanted to be a person to roll up my sleeves and to help, thus the Helpppp Agency. I wanted to help. And what those letters stand for is helping, empowering people for their purpose, plan, and platform.
Say that again. Helping,
empowering, loving people for their purpose, plan, and platform.
One more time.
Helping, empowering, loving people for their purpose, plan, and platform. Because I felt everybody had a purpose. You needed a plan, and then you needed a platform.
That is so true.
And I came up with this when I was 19 in college.
Wow.
Yes.
So you took all the components that you learned from radio, TV, film, from communications.
Correct. There you go.
From everything, and just said, I'm going to help, but they also need different components
Exactly.
besides that.
Exactly. And the center did that for me. And I began to start going volunteering at the center. And it was for underprivileged children and women who needed a second chance. And they were getting women back into the workplace. And I thought, here lies my purpose in life. And then I started the Helping Hands Foundation. We're going on 26 years. I started this in college.
Wow.
So while most people were going to the clubs and going to the sorority parties, I was starting a foundation. And I started this foundation, and it would be to help abused and battered women and underprivileged children. And I went to that center for about 3 years, and it changed everything. It changed the trajectory of my life. And so I knew that I just was not going to sit, and I love all the anchor people on CNN. Hey, I love you.
No shade.
But I needed something that I could roll my sleeves up and that's tangible, that I can touch, and that they're not giving me a script, because I'm definitely not scripted. I'm off script all the time.
Authentic. And the authentic. And just to go back to what you said, you have had this company for 26 years.
Yes. So my foundation, we're 26 years on our foundation. I started Help Agency in 2006. We're 16 years with the company.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is why I wanted Miss Tomeka Holyfield to come and be my first. She's been doing this before she was doing this, okay?
Yes,
She's
yes.
only 26.
Right,
so
right.
She's been doing this her whole life.
Right.
So this is, I wanted to bring you here, and why I wanted to bring you on the show. Actually, we're in your agency. We're in the Helpppp agency group. And this is not only your headquarters, but this is where you're just getting started.
Correct.
And I really, why I said I look up to what you're already doing is because you have a story that you mentioned about 5 years ago where you were. Yeah,
so basically I built a whole empire out of my home office. So we've only been in this Buckhead headquarters for 1 year.
Okay.
And so the Bible says count the costs.
Yes.
And so I was really scared. I thought, how am I going to pay overhead at my house and then scale my company? Back then, we didn't know what the word scale was and all those terminologies or VCs. I was just trying to be an entrepreneur because I knew I needed to make it in this area. And so I built my company, and it was a nice office. I mean, I hooked my office up at my house, and I didn't listen to people, oh, you need an office or you need this. I just did the work. And I kept doing the work year after year, and I wasn't really thinking about an office. And so it was only when I started then doing other entities and adding other companies that Georgia State said, listen, you can't have more than 2 companies out of one
one house office. Right.
You're going to have to move.
Right.
And so I was really forced to find a place, and I went on. This is why I always tell people, especially young entrepreneurs, get the foundation right. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be showy. You know how many people I've seen move into an office and then move out? They get a business, the business is 3 months, and they're going to find rental space. No, make sure that your industry, make sure that you have residual income coming. Make sure that everything is set up before you do that. And so when I decided okay, it's time for us, I needed a headquarters. I have staffing in Atlanta, I have staffing in Houston, in LA, in Dallas. And so when we're in those areas, we do the spaces, we do the regions, we do the shared space. I knew I needed a headquarters that we have conferences that I could work out of every day, that I could have meetings. And so I started the journey, but I had no rental history. So I was getting turned down everywhere. Okay. And now we're at the point, we're 15 years in, and now I'm getting turned down because I've had a home office. Right. And so everybody's like, a home office? And so I scaled the company, and so I was patient. And then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, I thought, okay, everybody's moving from the office. Now this is a time for me to go in for the kill.
Oh, you got
So we
great
have to be
strategy.
strategic.
Great strategy.
I'm strategic
Great
in
strategy.
everything I do.
Right. Oh
and
my gosh.
so I actually wanted another place, and I thought it would be great because it was by Georgia Tech. I wanted to be able to have the interns there. Everything is, you have to be strategic in everything.
Right.
And so I wanted interns and kids coming in. I wanted a space that I can offer workstations for people, because having a home office, I knew the importance of when I needed to go somewhere, when I needed a
Right.
conference
Right.
room. So now that I was in a position, I wanted to be able to offer that to other people. And I thought I was going to get this space, and it's actually the same space. Are you familiar with Dave's Cheesecake? He's married to Pinky Cole from Slutty Vegan.
I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, so he was in this space in downtown, and I thought this is perfect. And it was a nice office, and it was already customized, and the people had left, and everything I tried, the doors were closed.
Wow.
That office is still available right now, but they would not give it to me.
Wow.
Would not. And so I said, okay, it's a reason. So that's why when doors close, we have to understand the doors close for a reason.
Yes.
And so I've learned that throughout my tenures of building a company, and trusting my instinct and trusting my faith. And so I'm calling everywhere. And so I experienced a lot of racism. I know Atlanta is the mecca of the world.
Right.
But sometimes with office spaces, we still have that same situation.
Because it's commercial.
Because it's commercial.
And it's very,
Yes.
yeah, marginalized.
So I saw this property had come up, and I thought, oh, it's back on the market. Oh, interesting. I said, I'm not calling and leaving my name Tomeka. They're going to X me out. So I showed up here, and they said, oh, Ms. Holyfield, all these are privately owned. We can take your name and give you. I said, oh my God, my name. And so I left my name, Tomeka Holyfield. And then 4 months later, I got a call, and a person with an accent, and said to Ms. Holyfield, this is Dr. blah, blah, blah. And I said, where are you located? He said, I'm in Washington, D.C. I said, I'll be on a plane tomorrow.
Wow.
Because sometimes when you know the value of something, you got to snatch it.
That's so true.
So I got on the plane. I went to D.C. He had a headquarters by the Pentagon.
Okay.
And this was a businessman and a doctor. His wife is a doctor. And they began to tell me that they purchased this property right before COVID, and then COVID happened.
What?
So see, God was already setting this up for me, because he knew that I was going to come right on in.
Oh,
And so
my
I brokered
goodness.
the deal. I said, I don't have any rental history, but I'm going to pay up for a year. So that's going to show you my commitment. And then we'll go from there, year 2, 3, and 4. I was intentional.
Wow.
And so when people come and they go, I like to tell people, oh, we've just been here a year. I was able to build a multi-million-dollar company from my home office, because it's about your mindset.
Right.
Okay? And when you get your mindset right and you do the foundation, you count the cost, then he will reward you at different levels. The reason I'm able to be so focused is because I was a second chancer.
Yeah.
And see, when you're a second chancer person, you got to know how to go through the back door. You got to know how to climb over the fence.
Right.
You got to know how to knock on all the windows, because sometimes you can't go in through the front door.
That, you just blew my mind away. I mean, not only being a second chancer, but going out of your way to get what you want.
Yes.
Is like the number one thing as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I think that is important, because like you said, you hopped on a flight. Like, I'm gonna talk to y'all in person.
Yes.
I'm not gonna wait. And I think that's a great lesson for entrepreneurs to learn, because sometimes you can't wait for your opportunity. You gotta grab it.
You got to be assertive. What's going to make you stand out? So I didn't go there without any gifts. I took their logos. I had cookies made with their logos on it. Her logo of her company, the logo of their foundation, the logo. He had 6 companies. I ordered all the logos. And so I came there and I said, how sweet of you to join me.
Oh my
goodness. And they said, join me. I said,
goodness.
we're going to be family, because I will be leasing out that complex in Buckhead. You have to be creative. You have to be different. We live in a world that's fast-paced. 50 people are going for the same thing. 100 people are going for the same thing. What are you going to do that's going to stand out? See, this is not a game. You have to come in intentional, and you have to come in with force, and you have to be passionate about what you're doing.
That is so, so true. And because you are a brand yourself, but you put people on platforms.
Yes.
And you give people that help. What you kind of told me what ignited you to do that, but when you're on the go and you're trying to, help people with their purpose, help people with their brand, help your family, help this person, how do you manage all of that?
Well, I go back and I think about the struggles of becoming an entrepreneur, or the struggles of whatever it was I was going through in life. And so I put that in perspective. Okay. And so I think, Tomeka, your job, for me, my platform is to help. And so I love the song with Jay-Z that says, everybody, you're not rich, everybody broke if you don't, what is it? It says,
Oh, it's like if everybody doesn't,
if everybody broke around you,
you broke
too.
too. Yes.
I really live
Yes.
by that.
Yes.
If family and friends are not prospering, or if I meet somebody and I can't, what's the purpose?
Right.
What is the purpose of your knowledge? Right. What is the purpose of your financial freedom? What is the purpose of all this that you have accumulated and putting you then to not give? And so when I'm tired and when I'm on the go, and how do I stay focused? I'm task oriented. I can be anywhere. I tell people I can lose all of this and build it back up. I can be put out of this office and work from my car, because at every level, I'm a survivor. At every level, I made it work. And so when tiredness sit in,
Yes.
I go, Tomeka, you're doing this thing. You built this baby. You have to branch out. You have to help other people. You have to have different entities. You have to have different arms. You can't do, I love this quote by John Maxwell: one is too small of a number to achieve anything of significance.
That is a mind blower. That is a great quote. Because yes.
If you just doing something and you're
Yes.
one, you're going to achieve something, but not anything significant.
Nothing.
We
Yes.
all have to have team players.
That is so
we
true.
all have to have help. Everybody is skilled in a different area. I have learned how to take what I'm skilled with and manage other areas and bring people in who are skilled in areas that I'm not. And so you have to leave the ego at the door and leave the pride at the door so that you can build and grow. And in a fast-paced world of business on the go, you have to learn how to adapt on the go. Right. So you might have to pivot. I might have to pivot when I get to LA. We might have to be in a space there. We have to pivot. I have to change my thought process. Right. But if your core and your foundation is right, you can, I tell people all the time, just give me a chair, a floor, an iPad, a laptop.
You can get to it.
And I can get to it. And so I have learned how to mastermind that on the go. I've learned how to make the best of me being on the go. Life happens. I just had to go home for a medical crisis in the hospital with a family member. I was using the hospital conference room. I did 4 Zooms.
In their conference room.
In their conference room. It was so much that in the morning, the doctors would come by and say, have you done your your Zooms this morning? These are doctors, neuroscientists, cancer specialists, checking on me. It was a going joke that Ms. Holyfield would have the conference room from 8 to 9. And so what did I do? I got up. I wanted to be up and be dressed and be showered before the doctors did their rounds. I wanted to go out and walk outside for a second so that I could feel the air. See, I'm talking about how to manage in a crisis, or when you have to pivot, or when you're on the go. You have to be intentional and prepare. So I would go to Starbucks early. I would do all this. By the time 8 o'clock came, I was like the army. I do more before 5 a.m. than most people do all day. So by the time 8 o'clock got there, I was fully dressed. The couch was made up, and I was ready to talk to the doctors, the heads, being the advocate for my family member. And then I was ready to get to the conference room, because I'm so laser focused, because work can't stop in the midst of crisis, in the midst of storms. When you are a CEO and you are responsible for so much, you can't afford to stop.
That's true. You can't.
You can't.
Too many days off may cost you everything you work for.
Yes, take you out.
For sure. And like you said, you've seen people, move in and move out. It's because they can't handle crisis. They can't handle doing 30 things at one time. They can't handle this and that. And
it's a lot. You have to move the moving parts. And people always want the glamour of being the CEO or the head of something. And it's not a glamorous job. It's a job that you work tirelessly. You quit your 9 to 5 for 8 hours to come and work 18. And that's why you have to be passionate about what you're doing and believe in what you're doing. Because this is not for the faint at heart. It's for people who are go-getters. Who believe in their product, their brand, their company, their mission statement, their motto, whatever it is. You believe in it so much that you're willing to do whatever it takes. And I was a person who was willing to do whatever it took Nothing was too high, nothing was too low. And that goes with leaving your pride at the door and being progressive.
Yes, and to your point on progressiveness, I wanna know what is something that you can tell a young entrepreneur that's just getting started, a key that you can like a key takeaway you can give to them.
No one owes you anything.
Oh my goodness!
And when you can get that down, your whole life will change. No one owes you nothing. So they said they was gonna call you back and they didn't. So they didn't return your email. Send it again. So they promised you the connection and they did. They don't owe you.
Right.
So they said they were gonna hook you up. They don't owe you.
Right.
So they said they were gonna be a part of your project. They don't owe you.
Right.
When you get that in your mind, don't tell me what you're going to do. Tell me what you're not going to do so I'll know what I'm going to do. You start taking accountability for your life when you really believe no one owes me anything. No one. God doesn't owe you anything. Your mama, your dad, your spouse. No one owes you anything. We live in a world of entitlement. Everybody feels they're entitled to everything. But the minute I changed my mindset and my perspective that no one owes me anything, I became more grateful. I became more humble so that when someone does something for me,
It's a blessing.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Yeah. And it changes your thought pattern. And your thought pattern is the key to your work pattern. And then your work pattern is the key to your successful pattern.
Yes.
And so I would tell a young entrepreneur, no one owes you anything. We get so upset. I remember that this young lady was doing candles. And she was from my hometown, and I was doing one of my events during Hollywood. Gospel Goes to Hollywood. It's a pre-Oscar event. And I just thought, this is a great idea. Maybe I should use her product, her candles. So I thought, good intention. I told her, listen, I might use your candles. Anyway, it didn't pan out like that because I had a candle sponsor that came through.
Okay.
Well, she got upset at me and defriended me from Facebook and all this. I didn't even know. Now, a year or two later, I'm talking with somebody, a distribution, and they're looking. I said, oh, I have a girlfriend who run the candle. So I'm trying to go online and find her, and she's nowhere to be found. I'm in there with an opportunity for her.
Wow.
But because of her pride, she defriended me, and she missed this opportunity.
And she blocked her own blessing.
And she blocked her blessing. So I would tell young entrepreneurs, sometime the crumbs from somebody's table is better than a 7-course meal you can eat. So listen to what I'm saying. Sometimes God will position you around people that merely the crumbs that they drop is enough for you to get started. But you have to be so humbled and die to self to understand that, because we're looking for the big 7-course meal. And sometimes you just need a crumb. And when you get that down, your whole thought process changes.
And what do you, like, you just blew my mind with that, because I do believe that you, like, just being in the room with you and learning and getting knowledge from you, I'm very grateful. I want to let, our viewers know that when I met Miss Holyfield, it was her introducing something to my life that has changed my life, which is the Women's President Organization. And when you were speaking about it, it wasn't about the organization. It was about the growth in the connections.
Yes.
It was about the like-mindedness. It was about being around that really changed everything, and just having that network. And those, sometimes they may be the crumbs of,
Correct.
a $1 billion plate.
If you get crumbs from $1 billion.
Right.
And networking is so important.
Right.
And sometimes you don't have to just get the deal or the contract, but being around and learning.
Right.
Learning the tricks, the trades, learning the ins and outs from women who have done this over and over and have a record and have data to prove it. So that's why I always tell people, sometimes the crumbs are all you need, but we live in this society that marginalize everything, polarize everything, and we want now and we want glamour.
Right.
And sometimes you just need consistency, slow and steady.
Yes.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Right, all the time, because
Yes.
I as me being young, and working for my family company for so long, I understand the infrastructure that it takes.
Yeah.
So now it's like, yeah, you can sell a product, you can make some money, but if you don't have a solid infrastructure, it's not gonna last.
No.
It's gonna be a great like little thing for the time. And I experience in my own way just trying to rush through things, trying to hurry up, like I can do it, do it, and it's like I gotta take my time.
But it's good. It's your young energy.
Right,
it's your
right,
fire.
right.
It's what you had when I met you. And I said, if this is not me in my 20s, I mean, it's that fire. It's that I got this. So I was like, boom, 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 boom. And it's good to have that, the tenacity and the energy and the zeal. And then it's good to also be wise and slow.
Right.
And to know how to marinate them together.
Exactly.
You know, and this is the time for you to be like that. This is the time to do that, and you're setting yourself up. You're ahead of the game. I mean, if I could go back and be where you are now, you are so ahead of the game. Imagine. I mean, I just can't wait. I'm going to be interviewing you like, now tell me again, now how did you do this? And so, yeah, it's just about being wise and being intentional and being in the moment. We have to be in the moment. You know, and business on the go, and we're on the go a lot, we can slip those moments. Yeah. We have to be in the moment. I try to be in the moment at every stage, you know, when I'm on a plane.
Being present, because you might be sitting next to somebody.
Correct.
And they might need you to be present
Correct.
at that moment. And it might be somebody that changes your life or whatever.
I even make decisions, strategic decisions about even when I'm flying, for instance. So I'm going somewhere and I'm everything is strategic, whether I'm going to buy a coach flight, whether I'm looking for the most economical flight, or whether I'm buying first class. It depends on where I'm going. Right. For instance, I was headed to the NBA Summer League in July, and I decided to go at the last minute. Okay, and I was like, oh, okay. So we were partnered with the Basketball Wives Association, and I decided to go at the last minute. And the last minute first class ticket was crazy.
Oh my gosh!
And so I had to have a moment. Tomeka, you're going down there because you've been with the NBA for 17 years. You've produced this event. The people that you want to talk to, are they going to be in first class or coach? I'm going for the NBA All-Star Weekend. So I bite the bullet and I buy the first class ticket. Now on the way there, I slept the whole flight. That's another thing, balance. Sometimes you got to sleep.
Yes.
So now it's over and I'm getting on the plane. Let me just tell you who was all on the plane. Dominique Wilkins.
What?
The owner of the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh my God.
Every seat was accounted for. And I thought, here's my ROI, return on my investment.
Right now.
We talked, we networked, we laughed. And so I'm saying all that is you have to know when to go high and when to go low.
Right.
Now maybe my other 10 plane tickets were coach tickets.
After that, it was like...
You got to know,
yes.
and when you're building, even when you get to my point, you got to know when to make strategic decisions.
Yeah.
What is my ROI on this? How do I need to network? This is my branding. This is my brand. So I'm saying all that to say we have to be strategic in everything we do, down to booking tickets, down to what events are we going to go to? What conferences are we going to go to? Is this conference beneficial for your industry?
Right.
What is the purpose of you going to this conference? Have you researched everybody that's going to be at the conference so you're just not talking to everybody that might not have anything to do with where you're going while you're building? Research everybody so that you're trying to build your business. Right. So you need to know who they are when you walk in the room, and you need to know some person. Hey, listen, I hear y'all empty nesters in that you just took Mary to college. How are you doing?
Right.
Now you've already stood out in front of everybody. But that's when you are intentional and passionate. How bad do you want to build what you have? How bad do you believe in what you have? It takes research. It takes time. It takes effort.
And I think that's a great tip because you can get into the entrepreneurial industry and just be going to every conference. You want to do everything. You
spinning in circles.
You just think, if I just hit this one last conference, and it's like, but are you doing that research? Are you doing what it takes? Do you have a strategic plan for when you get there? And I don't think when you're just starting out, you thinking about that. You're thinking, oh, well, all the people I'm looking up to are at this conference, and you
got to count the cost.
Exactly.
Which one am I going to choose? Because in your early stages, you need money for your domains name, for your
Right.
trademarks.
Right.
Building, you're still building. You're still
Right.
building. You need money for all those entities. You need money to strategically partnership with people. So you got to be very careful. You got to curate your narrative. You got to curate what you want. And so I always tell young up-and-coming business women and men that you have to make wise choices.
Yeah.
You can't just be out there because it feels good. What is it going to net you, and what is your return on your investment?
And that is business on the go. And I think my last question before we get out of here is, when you're doing business on the go, what is the most enjoyable part about doing business on the go versus just being stationary, staying in one place most of the time?
Meeting the people, talking to the people, learning of the different industries, what people do. I love traveling. I love meeting other business people, whether it's a business people, whether it's someone wanting to go into business, or whether it's the mom who's on the airplane with me and she's so intrigued that I'm a woman and that I'm running my own company. And I give her hope and telling her that you're CEO of your household.
Yes.
By the time she gets back home,
She's
off that
running
plane, her husband is going, what the heck is going on? I like meeting people where they are, and that's the perk of being business on the go, because you're not just in one place. You're out and you're branching out. You're meeting people. You're making huge impacts, and then you're impacted from the people you're meeting. That's the best thing about it. I'm never quiet. I'm always talking, and I'm just honored that I have a business that I can be on the go.
Right, and that is a benefit in itself.
Yeah.
And I missed one thing when I introduced you.
Okay.
Miss Holyfield is a speaker. She is a world-renowned national speaker, and she has spoken at huge conferences. And that was another reason why I thought that she would be a great person to have this conversation with. Everybody may be a business owner, or most of the people that I will have on the show is a business owner, but they might not be a speaker or have the ability to speak in a way clear enough so that you guys can understand exactly what business on the go means. So this is me setting the foundation and showing you the type of excellence that you should expect from this show, Business on the Go. And I thank you so much, Ms. Holyfield, for coming. And well, I thank you for having me in your office at your headquarters where you do business, and I'm actually on the go.
You're on the go. I love that about you. Business on the go. She's
I'm
on the go.
actually on the go. But I thank you for having me here, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Yes, and I hope to interview you and for Business on the Go, maybe in the next 6 months, and let's talk about how you've been on the go and interviewing all these people and bringing knowledge to the people so that they too can come up, and I admire that so much about it.
Thank you so much.
Business on the go.
Business on the go. See you guys next time. Like, share, subscribe.
Woohoo!